Hey guys, welcome to another product showcase video. Today's product comes to us from SilenX, and this is their Effizio Performance Silent CPU Cooler. Okay, first off, let's have a look at the box. Wonderful packaging as always from SilenX, lots of information. Information on the front explaining the types of usage for this CPU cooler. This is designed for high performance systems and low noise environments, so it's going to give you a lot of cooling performance without much noise at all. Supports all of your modern CPU types. On the side of the box itself we have our specifications for the cooler. We have a dimension of 53 millimeter length, 127 millimeter width, 145 millimeter height, and this uses a 120 millimeter fan on it. It weighs in at 448 grams. It's a copper heat pipe aluminum fin design. The fan speeds are 800 to 2000 RPMs. Noise levels are 8 decibel to 28 decibel. Airflow is 34 to 102 CFM. Voltage is 5 to 12 volt. Current is 0.36 amps. Power draw is 4.32 watts. And this uses a fluid dynamic bearing. This is compatible with all your modern CPU styles, your CPU sockets, everything from your Intel socket 7.5, socket 1156, and socket 1366, as well as all the AMDs from the 939, 940, 754, AM2, AM2 Plus, AM3 line. On the back of the box itself, it has the pictures of the different styles of CPUs that it does support. Your Core series, your i7 series, 45 nanometer, i3, i5s, Core 2 Quad, Core 2 Duo, and your AMD line, as well as information about the product's 3-year warranty. On the side of the box we get to look at the some pictures of the product itself, its direct touch heat pipe design. Also some information about their optimized fan blade design, which, as you know, SilenX makes wonderful quiet fans that move a ton of air. And this also has a picture of the universal mounting system that you use for your backing plate for your motherboard. So you can use the same back plate no matter what type of motherboard you're mounting it to. So let's open up the box itself and see what all is in there. Okay, inside the package itself they give you a ton of accessories, which is very common with the SilenX coolers. They do a wonderful job of including everything you could need to install the cooler, as well as some extras. You get the CPU cooler itself, the installation guide that tells you about the different components that are included in the bags, as well as information about how to install it on different socket style CPUs. You get the universal back plate itself, which has markings on it for the different notches for the different socket styles that you'll be using with it. They include a fan controller with it, which is awful nice. The hardware packets itself, this is your AMD mounting brackets, as well as the nuts and bolts that you would need to install that, as well as some fiber washers. This one is your Intel install packet that covers your 775, 1156, and 1366. It also comes with fiber washers, the nuts and bolts you need to install it onto your motherboard, a tube of SilenX thermal paste, as well as some double-sided tape so that you can mount that fan controller inside your case, or on the side of your case, or back of your case, wherever you wish. They come with 2 spring-loaded clips to mount the fan onto the CPU cooler itself. as well as a SilenX 120mm fan to mount onto it. Let me move this stuff aside and we'll take a little closer look at the cooler. Alright, let's have a closer look at the cooler itself. Very nice job on the manufacturing. Very nicely soldered to the heat pipes itself. Very rigid fins on the heat pipe so that they won't easily bend. If you've ever seen the cheaper flimsy CPU coolers, you'll know what I mean. They can basically just put a finger on them and they bend. These are very solid, very well built. This does use a 3 heat pipe design. It is a direct touch heat pipe. We'll peel this back so you can get a better look at the cooler itself. As you can see, the 3 copper heat pipes will make direct contact with your CPU. Very nice finish on the base of it. No sign of machine marks on it. Very smooth finish. This does come with the Intel mounting bracket already installed. If you'll be mounting this onto an AMD board, you will have to take this top bracket off and replace it with the other brackets I showed you in the bag. It also has an additional little aluminum heat sink on top of the heat pipes to disperse the heat. This does use 3 heat pipes, I believe are 6mm heat pipes. One of the unique features of this cooler is the way it's designed. As you can see, it's at a slant, and that not only makes the cooler a little lower so you can fit it into a case where you might have a tight fit, but it also allows the airflow to blow down and out the back of it. The nice advantage to that is, depending on how you want to orient it in your case, if you have a case that maybe has a rear exhaust fan on it and you want the air to blow towards the rear of the case, or maybe blow downwards onto your MOSFETs and out the rear of the case, or you could turn it downward and use the air coming through the cooler to blow on your north bridge and cool that, or you could mount it forward and have it blow onto your RAM chips and help cool them also. Or if you have a case that has a top exhaust fan, you could turn it upwards and have the air blow right up to the top of the case and out of the case itself. So it gives you a lot of options that way as to how you'd like to orient it in the case. Because of this unique design, it only has mounts on it for 1 fan. So it's not a push-pull situation because of the angle back here. If you tried to mount a second fan, it would hit and possibly get in the way of other components on your motherboard. So they just have front fan mounts on it. We will be mounting one of them fans on with the clips that I showed you. But it looks like a very well made design. I've been very impressed with the SilenX coolers that I've reviewed. The amount of cooling they do for the size that they are is amazing. I've reviewed some rather huge heat sinks, and a lot of them are just more show than go. They look big, they look impressive, but they just really don't do that good of a job cooling. But every one of these SilenX ones I've seen has just had amazing performance. We are going to put this through its paces on our Gigabyte Intel Socket 775 motherboard and compare it with the temperatures of the stock Intel Socket 775 CPU cooler, just so we can see how much better this is than the stock one that you would get with your processor when you buy it. So first off, let's get our fan mounted on there and then get ready to mount this on the motherboard. Okay, we now have our fan installed with the clips in place. We're ready to mount this on the board and see what kind of temperatures we get. Okay, for our temperature test, we're going to use the Gigabyte motherboard with the Intel D820 CPU running on a socket LGA 775 motherboard. This is the stock Intel cooler that's on here. We did install it with the SilenX thermal compound to make sure it's a fair test. They'll all be using the same compound, so we can't say there's any unfair advantage that way. So on the base test at idle, our ambient temperature is 65 degrees Fahrenheit. we're looking at about 40 to 41 degrees on the stock cooler. We're going to start prime 95 and let this warm up for a while and see what kind of temperature it gets up to. Okay, with the stock Intel cooler, we've been running prime 95 on this one for a while. We're seeing temperatures around 62 to 63 degrees running prime 95 on both cores. So we're going to shut this down and switch over to the SilenX cooler and see what kind of temperatures we get with that. Okay, we're just preparing our backing plate to get ready to mount on the motherboard, and I just wanted to show you how easy this is to set up. If you can see the notches themselves for the different types of CPUs, there's different socket styles, I should say. Each one of the bolts itself has like two little wings in it, and basically you pick where the slot is you want. Like in our case, 775 is all the way in. You put the bolt in and you just kind of turn it a little bit and it'll fall right into the notches, and that'll help hold it in place, and then you can just put a nut on to hold it down. It's just that simple, and that's going to securely mount it to the motherboard itself. But just to give you an idea of how easy the mounting system is, it's a piece of cake to put together. You can mount one of these in probably 2 minutes, and it's going to be a lot more secure than your push pin style mounts. So I think they really went the extra mile with giving you a nice backing plate, large variety of hardware to fit the different socket styles. But we're going to mount this on here and check the temperatures. Okay, we have the cooler installed now, and we're running the windows just idle to see what our idle temps are. I did install this with the included fan controller that comes with it, so we could compare temperatures between the lowest fan setting and the highest fan setting. Right now we're on the lowest fan setting in whisper mode, and we're seeing about 27 degrees. Very impressive. We'll crank the fan up here and see what it idles at with the high fan setting. Okay, at idle with the fan setting on 100%, we're seeing very nice temperatures of about 24 degrees Celsius. So we're going to fire up prime 95 and put a load test on this and see what the temperatures do then. Okay, we're running prime 95 now. It's 100% on both cores. We have the fan on the lowest setting possible, which makes it almost impossible to hear. It's so quiet. And we're only seeing a temperature of 42 degrees, which is quite amazing. We're going to crank the fan up to 100% and see how low we can get the temperature while we're stress testing. Okay, we now have the fan running at 100%. As you can see, our temperature is about 36 degrees. We're still running prime 95. We got both cores running at 100%, and that is just an amazing temperature. I'm very impressed with it. It's probably one of the best performing coolers that I've tested in a while. For the size of it, for as easy as it is to install, and the price of it, this just can't be beat. I can't say enough about SilenX coolers. I've been impressed with every one of them that I've tested, and this one, I've got to say, has really got the performance. If you can see the temperature, it just dropped to 35 there even, and now it's back to 36. So this is better than idle temperatures that I've gotten with some of my CPU coolers, let alone with both cores running at 100%. So a very impressive product. SilenX is definitely a company to be reckoned with when it comes to CPU coolers. I think they're setting the standards that a lot of companies are going to have to beat. But that's going to do it for this product showcase. We want to thank SilenX for providing this product for our showcase. Once again, this was their Performance Effizio Silent CPU Cooler. And thank you for watching.